Alright, so what should I wear for this episode? Let me see here. I think I already wore this one a bunch of times. And let me see. Maybe something that's not related to wrestling. I got a ticket that's still wrestling. And oh, cool. There you go. The Bonsai Arcade shirt. Yeah, I got this one a long time ago. I wonder if it still fits me after all these years. But, yeah. Oh, what's that over there? Oh, wow. Here's a bunch of Super Famicom games that Yuppie brought along during her trip. But I guess we got so busy playing Vendetta that we never got to check them out. Oh, man. Dragonball Z Super Butoden 3. Wow, blast in the past, guys. But I wonder if I still have the, where did I put that thing? Oh, yeah, here it is. Cool. I still got the Super Famicom adapter because I am not going to break apart the SNES. But, yeah, this Super Famicom adapter, if you guys remembered, way back we covered Dragon Ball Z Hyper Dimension. We used it, so now we're going to use it again for more Dragon Ball Z. As Johnny would say, let's check it out.
Hey guys, this is Johnny Rodriguez joining in. So now we're talking one of the old Super Famicom DVC games. Now we're really going retro. Dragon Ball Z Super Butoden 3 was released in 1994 for the Super Famicom and was produced by Bandai. At this point, the anime was still airing new episodes in Japan, so the game is based on the first part of the Majin Buu saga.
The game lets you select Son Goku, Vegeta, the now teenage Son Gohan, Son Goten, Kid Trunks, Android 18, Kaioshin, Dabura, and Majin Buu. With a hidden code, you can unlock future Trunks as a hidden character to round out the cast of 10. Since there are a lot of changes between the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga, this makes Goku, Vegeta, and future Trunks the only returning characters from Super Butoden 2, not counting of course Gohan growing up. Similar to the other Butoden games, each fighter has a punch button and a kick button. There's also a button to shoot key attacks and a button that lets your character take to the sky or go back down to the ground. You can press both attack buttons at the same time to charge up your ki for the major ki attacks. Trying to use your ki attacks while your energy gauge is low makes your character tired and vulnerable to attack. Now if you get far enough from the opponent, or if you're on different planes like one in the ground and one in the sky, you get a split screen effect. Once you're in a split screen, you can fire off your huge ki attacks like the Kamehameha and the Final Flash. The opponent has seconds to try to either block it, deflect it, or counter with their own ki blast. Other than the usual special attacks and the ki attacks, Super Butoden 3 added a grapple system when both characters dash into each other. Everyone has a different way to counter it and win the grapple. You also have the hidden medial attack that causes all sorts of damage and usually ends with a ki blast for good measure. These are kind of like super desperation moves, just so you can do them at any moment. You don't have to have your life bar in the red or anything. And for some weird reason, Android 18 and Kaioshin were the only ones that didn't get medial attacks.
Like we said before, the game takes place during the beginning of the Buu saga. Based on the characters and backgrounds, it looks like the game was released around the time Majin Buu first appeared, up until the point where Vegeta sacrificed himself in an attempt to kill him. So this game is sadly missing the story mode. Unlike Super Butoden 2 where the Cell Saga ended, for this game it was too soon to see where the Buu Saga would go. It really hurts the game though due to the lack of story mode, or at least some sort of arcade mode.
The game also has a few tips and tricks. Other than unlocking future Trunks, there's also hidden turbo modes and power-up modes. For example, if you press left, R, L, and right during the pre-fight banter, the character will power up and their attacks will be stronger. The music for the game is also pretty good. Some of the soundtracks were even used in later Dragon Ball Z games. Give it a listen. Alright guys, so here are my thoughts on Dragon Ball Z Super Butoden 3. And there's really not much to say about the game because there really isn't too much to the game. It's literally all one-on-one fighting. Either you versus a friend, you versus a computer, or the computer versus a computer, which I never really saw the point to that. And a tournament mode, but of course it's going to be kind of difficult to find 7 other people to play with nowadays. The gameplay is pretty similar to Butoden 2. It's a little faster and a little smoother, but it's still pretty much the same thing. The only real new game mechanic is the grappling, and in my opinion it's not really a big deal. I would have preferred maybe the grappling, but 2 or 3 other new game mechanics here and there to really make this game a lot different when compared to the last one. Honestly, I was never really a big fan of the Butoden split screen and big energy blast type gameplay. Yeah, I know it's Dragon Ball Z, you gotta have your big Kamehamehas and the final flash and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is that actually back in the day in Mexico, Johnny and I would play this game, both Butoden 2 and 3, because they would do a thing where I guess they would just grab the chip or whatever, get the chips out of the Super Famicom carts and put them into SNES carts, and we would play them that way. And yeah, every time we would play a game, everyone would always do the whole backdashing or change the field you're on just to do the big energy blast. And it is cool a couple of times, but if every match is 4 or 5 like big energy blast tug of war things over and over and over, it really does make it kind of like repetitive, you know what I mean? That's why I like Hyper Dimension, because it got rid of the split screen and you could just jump in there and beat the crap out of each other like a more regular fighting game. One of the things I like the most about this game is definitely the music. I really love the soundtrack in this one, a lot better than the soundtrack in Butoden 2. Especially this tune that's playing right now. I guess that's the Trunks vs. Goten theme, because each character has a theme, like Vegeta has a theme and Goku has a theme. So this is like the Trunks vs. Goten theme. And I really wish it came back in other games, like remixed versions for the PlayStation or something. Now of course it would have made Ultimate Battle 22 or GT Final Bout any better, but I still would love to have this song come back in some way, shape, or form. So the 2 main things that's hurting this game is the small roster of only 10 fighters, which by the way you have to unlock the 10th fighter, and also of course the lack of story mode, arcade mode, or anything else that really affects the replay value. And there's only 2 things I can say about that. The first thing is, of course, this game was made in the early 90s, so of course back then games had smaller rosters, like 8 characters, 10 characters, maybe 12 characters, and stuff like that. So, you know, we can kind of give it a little pass there. That's how it was back in 1993. But the second thing with the story mode was that this game was actually made when the Buu Saga was live on Japanese TV. It's not like the American dub that were like months or years behind or whatever. No, this was actually airing live back in Japan when this game came out. So I can imagine that if you were a kid in Japan and you're a big fan of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and your Super Famicom games, and maybe you like Butoden 1 and 2 and stuff like that, and this game is announced and everything. This is like the first game ever that has like Majin Buu, Dabura, Kaioshin, the teenage version of Gohan, Trunks and Goten, the kid Trunks that is. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff in this game, like you must have been like just losing your mind. You know what I mean?
I mean, imagine people were playing the game like crazy, and yeah, I know there's no story mode or whatever, but you were probably just fighting all your friends for hours and doing all the moves and the combos and, you know, beam clashes and stuff like that. So I imagine it was just a whole different thing back then. So yeah, he must have gotten tired of it because, you know, there's a story mode. The last game played out like the Cell Saga, and even the BoJack movie, and even an extra chapter where Broly was in the game and stuff like that. So that added more to it. But this one, at least in terms of the one-on-one fighting, I'm sure people played the hell of it, you know, the hell out of it back then. But nowadays it's kind of different though. Nowadays, I think you're gonna probably play it for an hour or so, just to kind of, you know, try out all the characters and stuff and things like that. You'll probably get tired of it after a while. So this game really isn't going for, like, you know, these insane prices online. So if you can get it, I would probably check it out as a novelty. But definitely don't be paying no, you know, $500 to $600 or $1,000 for it. I mean, no, you'll get tired of it, you know, within an hour and stuff. But yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's too bad of a game. It's just that it's very simplistic, and especially if you play it now, yeah, you'll probably get tired of it after an hour or so, after you try out all the characters at least once or twice and stuff like that.
The game is fun for a while, but without a story mode and only 10 characters, it does get old really quick. I know back then 10 characters was decent for a fighting game, and for the Japanese fans, it was the first game ever to have the Majin Buu characters. But without more modes, you will probably put this down after a while.
And that wraps up this episode of Video Game Masters. This is Mark Rodriguez here. Thanks for watching.
And this is Johnny Rodriguez.
And as you can see, Droopy did leave behind some other Super Famicom games, so we'll be checking those out for sure. Catch you later.